so somber because I've created such a sense of tension and discomfort in the room.
Loss and sanity induced madness.
Yeah. So Cosmic Patrol was the backup, was it, Ben?
That's right.
So maybe you could walk us through how you came up with this Call of Cthulhu.
I just did an opera project with a whole lot of young teenagers, and they wrote an amazing opera this week with them, where there was a woman who was stuck in between this image of her wedding, her own wedding, and then she kept flip-flopping back into this sort of government facility where they were trying to interrogate her. To get her to
So you stole this idea from children.
That's right. and it was an incredibly intense operatic work with really mind-bending sort of twisting, and she kept in the same manner flipping back and forwards between realities.
Cool.
And I took that as my starting point. It was something we'd written collaboratively in the opera project that I work on.
Links in the description.
That's right. So yeah, so that was my starting point, and I mean, it could have been serious. It could have been mind-bending. I like the brutal deaths and things like that, but it quickly sort of. Well, I think setting in the '60s, kind of,
It lends itself to humour, doesn't it?
It does.
And we said like crop circles and porn
cattle mutilation.
And we go and we find
alien probing.
And we find the library.
I think by that stage Ben had given up on it.
There was a moment where I got really, like, when we went back to the wedding, and then that was like really cool. But then when we came back, and I'm just like, gun, and you're like, I'm out of here.
That was really interesting. The first moment where, you sort of suddenly wished something in your hand, and then you broke your bonds when you were in one reality.
That was actually really cool.
Yeah, that was good. That was good fun. Yeah.
I really had fun with that.
I haven't had so much fun in a long time. So yeah, thank you. I mean, but was that not Cthulhu? I guess isn't Cthulhu. It was sort of more like Mars Attack, I guess.
Hang on, let me just see where I can find this type of game in the rules here. Just give me a sec, I'll find it.
And Boris, how do you feel about putting all those points into Drive?
My favourite one was I put a lot into Sneak. Bargain was really good at bargaining, and fast talking. No, that was great. That was fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I mean, it's difficult to manage, obviously, the pointers to whether you're supposed to trust the priest or not. And you guys sort of got on a track that, the priest, the whole wedding experience was definitely, a part of the alien conspiracy to get the launch codes. Yeah. But then you definitely realised at the end of Act 2, you sort of saw that classic expression. You just go, oh, hang on a minute, which is great. And then whether you go with that or not, and then how explicit, I make it. Obviously, at the end, in Act 3, I sort of just pushed it, so you were sure.
Yeah.
But the hard thing was when you were going along saying, like, and then he turns into a giant alien.
Yeah,
it's just like, difficult to trust you when, trust me now.
And you
an
kill
alien.
us. You turn into a giant alien, and then you kill us, and then not too sure about trusting.
So for me, that was kind of like they were trying to communicate to you in the
memories.
In memories or some sort of, and get you to keep a transmission safe by putting it under the guise of a memory, and so you could communicate those three facts that they needed to get.
Were you at all concerned that we wouldn't pick up the clues? Like, this is probably the first mystery game like this kind of style.
Right.
Did you find any challenges?
That's right. I mean, I workshopped this with my son today extensively.
Who has probably the intelligence of the three of us.
And a really deep voice.
He does now. He's amazing growing up, my boy. And that was really very, very useful. Sort of trying to anticipate. Because that's the nature of a role-playing game. It needs to be dynamic, it needs to be adjustable, and you can't just drive the characters along a certain path. And this is definitely the the game that's depended critically on you coming to the right conclusions.
Yeah.
And at the right pace as well. You need to be able to create confusion, plant clues, and then confirm those clues in a way that seems logically plausible and seems to make sense within your current experience. And that's the
give the players enough power that they feel like they can do something, but not enough that they don't feel any challenge with it.
And initially, when I first came up with the concept, you were always just going to go to interrogation, wedding, interrogation, wedding, interrogation, wedding. And then we realised quickly that takes away a lot of your sense of agency. So letting you break out of the that's right. Straight away, I realised that what players do is they try to think of a solution and they want it to be awesome. Like, I find a button or I unlock or I break free.
Yeah.
And then just to basically say, no, you fail, because I needed you to, according to my narrative, to stay there. And that would be really sucky.
Yeah.
In the opera, does the woman ever leave the interrogation room? She's always flicks back to there.
She realizes that her wedding sequence is actually the tool of the evil people who were trying to manipulate her. And they're in fact trying to trap her in that memory permanently. So she thinks she really is in 1963, and in reality is she's in 2014, and she's got superpowers, and they're trying to, and they've got everyone else in the facility programmed into this mode where they all think they're in 1963, and they're hoovering, and there's this, the kids wrote this amazing sort of Hoover song where they're talking about the ideal role of a woman, and all these sort of superpowered women are all sort of stuck in this sort of gender role of yeah, it's really, really interesting. So she ends up then breaking out of the asylum with the help of everyone. And, yeah.
So we didn't get superpowers, basically.
No,
that's right.
We just found the light.
I rode to Earth on a...
yeah!
I think that's pretty superpower.
I love that at the beginning it's just kind of like this dark kind of mystery, and in the end you're flying onto the White House lawn.
I don't care anymore.
You're just like,
I'm just going to make
surfing through the air with the American flag. Like, it's just the most...
Well, that's fun. I love doing
it. It was great.
I love just asking the players to then, you know, once they've got the whole point, you know, to then give them complete narrative control. It's lots of fun.
I feel like Call of Cthulhu doesn't normally lend itself to combat situations, but I really feel like it just proved that it doesn't really matter what system you use. You can pretty much make it do whatever
as long as it's quick,
you want it to do.
As long as it's quick and resolve itself. It has to create the sense of danger so that you can really...
Which we did with how many experience points? Hit points?
Strobing. That's right. And so brutally killing someone in one reality and then creating that exact same risk in another reality is a great way of... I love that. I love creating a sense of danger.
Well, it's a foreshadowing, isn't it?
That's
it's a great way to kind of tell you what's going to happen if these guys actually do get their tentacles on
That's
you.
right. And for me, that art of balancing that sort of risk is what combat's about. And that's where balance comes into it and sort of shifting those numbers. And when there's not many numbers, it's really easy to control that, you know, because you can see how the mathematics, you know what the rolls of a 1d8 are going to be. It was rather worrying when you were on 3, you know, and I had a guy lined up to shoot you, but then you created the opportunity for us to then remove that threat, so that's great.
I just had this image of you with a syringe, just like...
It was epic. I was probably the biggest hero there. Yeah,
it's like a L'Oreal commercial, wasn't it?
Well, he landed a shot on you, and then, you know, you'd already created an out for me.
Yeah. No, it was great, Ben. I
really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Ben.
I think it was hilariously fun. I can't wait to edit it. It's going to be hilarious to watch it again. That's the great thing about it. I get to see it again.
I like it.
Yeah.
Excellent. And thank you for coming on the journey. Do like and subscribe, and we totally, most of all, love your comments and interaction on the channel. So yeah, do that.
See you in the next video.
Bye. Adios.